inflation went up in the month of December 2020 to about 10.4%, a marginal increase over that of November. This means that prices of goods, some goods and services, went up during the month of the Christmas festivity. However, average year-on-year inflation for the year 2020 stood at 9.9%, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, a marginal increase in the rate of food inflation, which is the highest since April 2020, when COVID-19 reached its alarming rate in Ghana. Let's hear from the government statistician on the figures and the explanation behind these figures.
Inflation for the month of December 2020 stood at 10.40. This means literally that in the month of December 2020, the general price level of goods and services have gone up by 10.4% relative to the same period, December 2019. It will be recalled that in the month of November 2020, we recorded for the first time post-COVID period a single-digit inflation of 9.8%. Relative to this figure that we recorded for November 2020, in the month of December 2020, we see it inching up by 0.6%, leading to the 10.4% that we record for the month of December 2020. On a month-on-month basis, that is between November 2020 and December 2020, the rate of inflation stood at 0.9%. Again, this compares with November 2020 that stood at 0.3%. So the 0.9% for December 2020 literally is interpreted as prices of goods and services between the months of November 2020 and December 2020 have gone up by 0.9%. In the month of November 2020, when we recorded an inflation rate of 0.3% on a month-on-month basis, it was interpreted that between the month of October 2020 and the month of November 2020, prices of goods and services have gone up by 0.3%. Relating this to the same period in December 2019, we realized that in December 2019, the month-on-month inflation stood at 0.3%, and again, this is indicating a 0.6 increase in the two periods, that is December 2019 relative to December 2020 on a month-on-month basis. We carefully look at the averages for rates of inflation for the whole period of 2020. And on a month-on-month basis, the average stood at 0.8% relative to the December rate of 0.9%, which means that the average on a month-on-month basis for the whole period of 2020 was slightly higher by 0.1% for the month of December 2020 relative to the average of 0.8%. On a year-on-year basis, we record an annual average of 9.9%. So amid the COVID-19, where our inflation rate peaked to 11.4% in July 2020 and abated down between 10.5% and 10.1%, the average for the year stood at 9.9%. So as a country, over the period 2020, amid the COVID-19, we still record an annual average in the single digit of 9.9%.